Good morning, YouTube. Well, I've been doing a lot of nothing in Colorado. First, I just got over the border into Junction, and then I just kind of sat around for a while. A lot of it has been, I never expected my actual timeline would get so far ahead of my editing timeline. So I have all these videos I haven't edited, I haven't put online. And I'm way past the point of that occurring in life. I haven't even edited my tour video at this point, which by the time you see this video would have been edited. You would have seen it. You would have commented on it. So I've decided two things need to happen today. One, I need to prepare myself to actually go out, do a couple of days of camping, just so I say I did it in Colorado. I've even picked up out a campsite off of campsites.net. And I need to do all the prep work for that, but I also need to pick up a package at Walmart anyway. So I'm going to pick up my package, get myself all set up to go for a boondocking experience. And that's going to include filling up the car with gas and getting some supplies for the road. One of the big ones is water. So we're going to take care of that today. So I got it. It's basically a folding bike. So my grand question right now is, do I unbox it now or do I unbox it later? I kind of don't want to deal with it right now because my brain is I need to make my list and take care of what I need to take care of. So I kind of really don't want to unbox this yet. So I think I'm just going to throw it in the back of the van on top of the toilet and then just move on with the day and get myself all prepared. And then I'll have time to really kind of tear into stuff like this. And this is the hard part about getting things in boxes when you're on the road in a van. It's just going to take up a lot of space in your house. It's sort of not like a regular house where you can just kind of put it in to the side until you're ready to deal with it. It's in your way. As soon as you get stuff in large boxes, it is in your way. So you have to have this immediate idea about how you're going to incorporate it and how you're going to get rid of the box. Now, the weird thing with something like this is a lot of times I like to keep boxes until I'm sure a product is okay. And sometimes for the sake of space in a van, that can be really annoying. But we're just going to put it away right now and then take care of the other stuff that we need to take care of. Alrighty. Usually I would try to do laundry. Honestly, my laundry level where it is right now, I'm not really that worried about it, and it's always dirtier when I come back from rural or BLM land anyway. So honestly, laundry can wait this time, but usually that's a priority. I know I need gas, so I'm gonna put that on my list, which I'm making right now. I know I want to top off the tank. I have about half a tank. I haven't been traveling that far. I've been going to a local park during the day, exercising, and then coming back to the van, finding a place to settle, and honestly working on the computer for the rest of the day. So gas is on the list, and then I'm not going to worry about laundry this time, but that's usually something I want to check up on before I go off on an adventure for several days. So to a certain extent, like people always talk about part-timers, and I live as a part-timer who lives full-time in my van, basically. Like the city is normalcy for me. Like I'm not always out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm not preparing to do that at a cycle. Like my normal life is usually occupying a city, and so like settling down in Denver, even though it's not my home city, was kind of the same format for me. It's sort of just the format that I live by, so I don't really think about it that much. That's just normal for me. But now I'm going out adventuring. Now I'm thinking about what I need to go out and do that adventuring. Otherwise, usually I just pick up gas when I need it, like most people driving through the city. You know, I take care of laundry when, you know, the laundry bag's getting too full, or like I'm running out of clothes, like a lot of people. So it's not really like sort of this active thing when I'm not in a city environment. Now, when I'm planning to go out, or I feel like I'm going to be doing like a series of long drives, that's when I'm thinking about this stuff. So laundry and gas are usually things that come up. And so like I'm making a note for myself that I need to get gas, even though I'm not going to get it while I'm here at Walmart. Now, I did just pull my water jug from under my sink, so I'm going to fill up my water. I do have 5 gallons of spare water still. I'm not going to use that yet. I'm going to leave that as a spare, and then I'm going to fill up my primary water. Now, water gets in an interesting situation, because what I'll do normally is, even if I'm not empty, if I just run into like a water fill station, which I do sometimes, especially with Glacier, then I'll just go ahead and, fill it up while I'm looking at it, instead of waiting until I'm like depleted or at a low point. Again, this is why city van life can also sometimes be really easy. People talk about the negatives of city van life. One of the things is like, sometimes I just accidentally run across water. Like it's not this active thing I need to think about, like, let me stock up, go till I'm almost depleted and then come back and restock. Sometimes I just like casually get it. Now, when I know I'm going out and venturing and I don't really want to be thinking about it, I want to be as full as I can. And so having my 5 under the sink and then my 5 spare is kind of the situation I want to be in. So I'm going to fill up my primary. My backup is still in the front seat, and so that's good. As far as food, I consider myself that I live like a backpacker, so I have a lot of, especially right now in the summer, this is just a topper. I got this from Costco. This is too big. Like, I've had this so long. I use about a teaspoon of this in salads sometimes for crunch. So, like, I have this giant bag that I haven't nearly gone through in so much time, because I use it so sparingly. But I do like to have granola bars. Now, I'm really funny about granola bars. As you can see, this is a Kind bar with caramel, almond, and sea salt. And I don't like chocolate in my granola bars. And like 98% of granola bars come with freaking chocolate. So when I find the ones that don't have it, that I like, I'll stock up on these. Honestly, I can get a box of these and they last for months. And that's how sparingly I eat these things. So, yeah. I always like to make sure I have some teas. Right now I have some chamomile, which is a great nighttime tea. And then I have some black tea. And then I have this caramel apple that I haven't really been drinking that much, but I would like to get some green because I'm pretty much out of green tea. I don't really drink coffee, but I'm a big fan of tea, so I'm going to put green tea on my list because I would love to have some. I have some chamomile. I have some black. This is what I do in the morning. I don't do coffee. It's usually like an English breakfast or an Irish breakfast or something like that. I like having green teas on hand. And this was just a random one I thought I would really like, and I really just don't even use it that much, so it's mostly just sitting around forever without me using it that much. So it's almost like a waste of space. But I like tea, so I'm not really that worried about it. I really love these just because they're easy. I'm not a cook. I don't want to be fooling with a rice maker. I literally am not a cook. Like, I like something that's simple, so you can just throw this in a pan, heat it up, and I've gotten to the point where, like, I can't, this is like 2 meals. And, like, I eat so sparingly now. Like, I usually have one, like, hearty meal a day. This is, my food supplies tend to last a while because I'm only one person and I eat really sparingly. I know, you're right, fat girl, you don't believe me. This is another one of my favorite, like, snack bars. I really like these. Again, no chocolate. I don't have anything against actual chocolate, but it's something about chocolate mixed with granola bars that I just find gross. And I recognize that's abnormal. So I have, like, some cans of soup. I'm actually doing pretty good on dry food storage, so I don't really need a lot. But, like, usually what I just do is I just go around my cabinet, ask myself what I'm using, like, all the time and a lot, and trying to make sure I have that on hand to, like, not do some shopping for a couple of days. My fridge is also pretty well stocked. I am going to grab, like, a bag of fruit just so I have that for snacks. I already have some pickles down in there, which is another thing I use for snacks. I might grab a bagged salad. And I know it would be better to buy, like, the actual vegetables and, like, cut those up instead of getting the pre-bagged salads. But honestly, this just leads to me wasting a lot of vegetables because you have to buy all these whole vegetables. You have to chop them up yourself. Like, I remember when I used to do Weight Watchers, like, people were, like, so into those recipe books. Like, I just find recipes frustrating. Like, I don't want to deal with them. So it's like the simplest path. First of all, I'm boring. I will eat the same thing for, like, months at a time till I kind of get sick of it. And I'm ready for some sort of different taste. And that's not really a problem for me. I eat like a backpacker a lot. Like, I think like a backpacker, the way backpackers, like, think about having food on hand that's not going to go bad. I tend to lean toward those more, especially because, like, there's so much about temperature I have no control of as a van dweller. Like, I can give myself a couple of fans when it's hot. I can, like, throw on my heater when it's cold, but, you know, a lot of my food preservation and a lot of what I buy is based around the weather because I'm in a metal box. So right now, while it's hot, I don't want a lot of stuff that has the risk of going bad. COVID's only made that worse because, like, a lot of the fresh food is a lot of the food that's not sealed. And so it's traveled from somewhere to the store exposed to a certain extent, at least more than some other types of foods. A lot of what I like to call my backpacker foods. Sorry, something spilled, so I'm going to clean that up. Nothing spilled. My teas fell out of my container, that's all. So I live like a backpacker, like, most of the time. I don't think a lot about cooking like I would in the house, and also, like, I'm not really a cook, and I know that's disappointing to some people. They're like, oh, I want to see what you eat. So it's like, you really want to see 20 videos on me eating brown rice and beans? Like, I don't think so. And I got the pre-made stuff that I pretty much can throw in a pan and heat up, and then, like, a can of, like, beans or something, and mixed it in there and stirred it up and ate. You know, and like I said, I could eat that for months and just not even care. Like, it'd be fine. But right now it's hot, and so I'm leaning towards things that don't require cooking at all, like the pre-bagged salads, and then I'll add things like, you know, that salad topper. This bag that has lasted forever. If this lasts into 2021, I wouldn't be surprised. That's how slowly I eat at that thing. So it's like, I'm not eating a lot anyway. A lot of times when I'm driving, I'll just grab a granola bar or, like, an apple if I'm just feeling like I want a snack. I'm not even gonna say that I need a snack. I'm gonna say that I want, because I'm finding, like, even when I make myself that one hearty meal, a lot of times I'm not even eating the whole thing. I'm putting part of it away. So like I don't have this voracious appetite. I'm not a foodie. Um, and that's the thing. When I was eating fast food, it wasn't for taste, it was for laziness. It meant that I could just go somewhere, buy prepared food, and have it very quickly without turning on the oven. Now, it wasn't always laziness, not the oven, the stove. Like right now, when I turn on the stove, this is already an oven. Once you turn on the stove, it's a super oven. Like you just turned the heat up on the oven. You just decided there wasn't enough heat and you've turned it up. And so that's how hot and miserable. Like people are worried because like I'm not going to get into Baltimore until September. And they're like, oh, it's going to be cold when you're coming back. No, it's going to be fall when I'm coming back. And that is good. Fall is perfect. Like fall and spring are perfect. The problem with summer and winter is there are these risk of extremes. I don't want to run into snow. I don't think, like, I haven't had to deal with snow in like so long. I'm not really like looking to run into that. But as far as it just being like cold and me having to wear like jackets and pants and like throw on my heater, like I'm actually looking forward to that as opposed to this situation right now where it's like it's not as bad as it was in Nevada. Nevada was like hell, and I'm sorry I didn't get a better experience in Nevada because I'm sure there's pretty stuff there, but like I was just like I need to get out of here. Like it's way too hot, and it's been hot everywhere. Like it's been very, very, very hot. Like there's been some like very miserable hot days. But also like I know I'm living in a van, like I'm not living in a house, so I don't ever expect it to feel like a place with controlled air. And I just kind of live with that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like part of embracing this lifestyle is that sometimes it's going to be hot and sometimes it's going to be cold, and that's a part of it. You can either afford to like fix it or you can embrace it, and like I try to embrace it as much as possible. And if it means like I'm gonna be like super miserable during the day and I just need to lay in front of a fan until it kind of cools down a little bit, and then like maybe I can get some work done as the day cools off towards the evening, like that's what I do and that's what I've done. And my miserable isn't like I hate van life. It's more like this is kind of a part of living this way, and so I try not to get too stressed out about it. I have a cart out there with my water in it, so that's the main things I need to get. I need to get gas once I leave here. I need to fill up my water jug, and I need to grab a few small things as far as food, to make sure that I'm going to be good for a couple of days without having to worry about like food issues. I probably will do laundry after my 2 days of camping, assuming that 2 days works out. We'll see, and handle that on the back end. And then I'll also do the general things like stock up my water again and make sure I'm full on gas. I may need gas before then, but ideally what I'm doing is like I'm going to go see the Red Rocks Amphitheater today, and then I'm going to do 2 days of camping where I don't move. So in my head I would need gas until the end of that cycle, so in 3 days when I start my big push towards Baltimore. But I really want to leave Colorado having seen something, because I think for the next few states I'm not going to be really seeing anything. I'm just going to be pushing forward towards my goal. All right, let's get out of here and actually do our shopping so that we don't waste too much more of the day. Fuel is also something I would normally get, but I honestly have plenty of it under my sink right now, so we're going to bypass it on this trip.